Hey coach, so I just finished, well, I didn't just finish practice today, but I hmm, this practice wasn't bad, but I didn't really exactly like it just because that time of the month it started today. Um so my energy levels and my mentality was pretty low, or like my focus levels. So I went to go practice out today. um I did fronts and middles first, where I would do the footwork, three of each first, and then I would throw three of each. And I was working on staying vertical so the hip could go out first. And I thought it wasn't too bad, but could honestly, this practice could have been better for all of them. Yeah, the fronts weren't too bad, or like I was feeling the hip go first, but sometimes I would feel the upper body, and I know that I would lean, I was just mainly working on like staying vertical so the hip could go first. And the footwork wasn't too bad. I felt it, and it felt pretty good, fronts and middles. And then I went to throwing, um, and I don't know if my discus is high enough when I do fronts, but I know that there were sometimes it looked like it was either coming after the hip or it would come with the hip. I just I had an in between with um with it going after the hip, and I was still trying to be vertical. So I think I think I just didn't slam my left foot down. I didn't really even think about really slamming it down, but I think if I did, it would have been better because I was definitely staying vertical most of the time. And this is for fronts and middles still, because middles was kind of like the same thing. The discus, it looked like sometimes in some of the throws, the discus was back behind the hip and the hip went first, or it was by side. Um, and I think, oh, and sometimes, well, no, that's fine. And I think if I just slammed my foot down while staying vertical, it would have been a little better. Um, Plus, my mood was still, um, my mindset was still tired and foggy, so in the beginning it wasn't too good. You could probably see it on my face, to be honest. I know I could when I was watching. Um, but after that, I went into fulls, and I worked on that thing where you said pop, the picking up of the heel, which pops the right knee when it goes, and I liked it. I liked it, and I worked on it, and it and it felt good. It felt like my right leg was going out and around. I felt my hip through all the footwork and all the throws. I felt my hip consistently in the power position. But oh yeah, and while I was doing footwork, you told me I can go back to staying vertical when I turn, or I could keep the shoulder tilt. So I decided to do both. So 3 of 3 to just see what would happen, or which one felt better. Personally, I like the tilt. I feel like the tilt, I feel more of the discus come back. Than I did with the vertical. But they were both still pretty good, and I still felt my hip in the end. And I did a front and side video. It's where I saw the side video, because the front video I was looking for the popping of the right knee and go, but I'll let you be the judge entirely, because I don't, because I saw Pakrufa Sandrit, I saw, I can't even say her name, I saw Valerie Loman, another girl you sent me, Pakrufa Sand, man, you see, right, I saw both of them, and they both had kind of like a difference, like, Valerie, her knee would go out, and Sandra, it would kind of like go out and in. And I think I leaned more to the Sandra side, because for the video I tried to slow it down to see, but it would like it was pretty hard to see for me, because I definitely felt it throughout the whole practice. I felt my heel come up, because I like the way how I like thinking about bringing the heel up, because it automatically pops the knee out. But when I watched the video, I couldn't exactly tell all that much if I really truly brought the knee out, because I would notice, I think it would come out but quickly cut to the left. And this is when I was watching it in the front. And then when I watched it, the side view, I noticed that my leg, because the front, it looks really nice. It looks like my right leg goes out and around and under. But then I watched the side view, and it looks like my right leg, because I did this a lot, and I know, and my mood was kind of, it was going up and down. So the side, when I was doing the side view video, my mood was like pretty hectic, so that's probably why. But I don't know. I was doing the pop out, and I just noticed that my right leg did this swooping motion, and it looked like it went out and then it came up and then went down. So I'm not entirely happy with that. I don't know exactly what could have caused that. It could be my upper body going a little too fast. I did notice that my upper body was leading quite a bit, because my discus, also with the side video, I noticed that my discus came up to my hip. Like in the front video, when I did do the turn, I noticed my discus didn't stay far back. It did when I started doing the tilt. And seeing a video, I realized that I'm really not tilting that much, or I wasn't tilting that much. It really feels like it, When I turn and I tilt, it really feels like I tilt. But then I watch the video, and it's kind of like lean, and I barely tilted. And I was just like, what? So it doesn't look like there's much of a difference, but I did 3 of each, if that makes it easier. I did 3 vertical, and you can definitely tell I'm vertical. And then 3 after that, I would do the tilt. And then I would go into throwing, and I did 3 vertical, 3 with the tilt. So I interchanged, and I did the same thing with the side view. The side view, I saw a little more, and it was just, yeah, my discus was definitely catching up. In the front video, I noticed like the power position. I noticed that my hip would lead, and I definitely know it did. I would feel it, but I don't think, you know, big circle, little circle. I don't think it would turn all the way until I've let go of the discus, or it would kind of cut off. I know it did that for, yeah, it would kind of cut off a bit. Though, that was like during the throwing. The drills felt really nice. The throwing, I felt the same thing as the drills, but of course, there's still some things that just weren't quite there. And that's gonna take some time, but I really think I was getting somewhere. Or that's what it felt like. I was really thinking I was getting somewhere, or we were getting somewhere by the picking up of the heel and with the tilt. I think if my mood was better, because you know, usually the first days are pretty heavy, so I was tired throughout like the whole day, but I really wanted to work on what we were talking about, and it was Wednesday, so I needed to throw. But I really think it probably would have been better if my mood was just better. I didn't, because the practice felt good, not entirely, but it did. I think it felt better because it felt like I was using my hip more, and I could feel it. That's honestly my favorite part of the whole practice, was I was feeling my hip in the end, and when I would throw or do the do the drills and throw. After that, I went to shot put. Shot put. Shot put, I usually know that whenever we do discus, we transfer into shot put, and I didn't entirely know if you wanted me to do the pickup of the heel when I do shot. So I did it, and with the drills, it felt really good. It felt really good. Um, it just, I think we're getting somewhere with that, because it felt nice. Um, though when I did have the shot, I was pretty sweaty, so the banana shot was like moving around when I sprinted. So I get better on like my other tries with it. I just knew that I was sweaty, so I had to like wipe it off and stuff like that. But shot put was actually really nice. I just think the hard part was, I think it wasn't clicking into my head until after that I probably should have just worked on the tempo a bit, because I think if I did, it probably would have just been more fluid or so. I don't know. I was doing the heel and it went, and you know what? Yeah. I think if I worked on the tempo, I would have better timing when my left shoulder, like when I become vertical again to sprint. But like I said, it felt really good, and I felt my hip through through each of them, and it got better. It got better each throw. I was getting used to it. And like I said, I'll let you be the judge. But it felt good, and you know, I was using my hip. I'll go vertical, um, and I forgot to mention this. For discus and for shot, when I would pop up my heel, I felt in each of them myself push off the ground. Which, you know what? That probably also caused my right leg to go the swoop out and up instead of out and around in discus. Probably just because of timing and tempo. Plus my upper body. But in shot put, I think that caused me to pick up some speed that I wasn't quite used to. And I think that's why I just said I need to probably work on the tempo to have enough time to do this, because I feel like once I get that heel up, it kind of like pushes off the ground, like it just pushes off and it goes. So, or that's how I can describe it. It kind of like accelerates with the left leg, or it just kind of, well, my left leg would go, and you know, your left leg starts the sprint. And it's kind of like as the left leg is starting the sprint, and just as it's about to go, it has that extra motor pattern or that extra engine that's just boom, and the right leg would push off the ground and boom. Honestly, I like shot put better. I like the shot put better than I did with the discus, but just the main thing I really liked about the practice was the hip. Like I said, I didn't entirely like this practice. I felt like I could do better. If those first days just really get me when it's that time. I did take an ice bath too, which felt really nice. I really liked it. It's been a while since I did it, so man, stepping in there was like, whew, chilly, but I'm very glad I did it, and I can't wait to do it again. So, but anyways, oh yeah, and I talked to ACU yesterday. I really like him. He sounds like you, and he admires you a lot. Um, but he sounds like you, and it sounds like he's really taking care of Kaylee. So, or we would just, I love how he talks about trusting the process and not worrying about the throws. I can tell that they do a lot of technique, and that they're very technical. And it sounds like that Kaylee is comfortable with him, because he told me that one day Kaylee was crying because she was, I guess, having a hard time in school and stuff. She felt like she was doing a bad job and she was crying, but she was comfortable enough to show him and tell him how she felt and stuff, and they worked on it, and she's much better now. So I do like that the coach seems to have a good relationship with them, and even Kaylee, who's like a freshman, he definitely wants a team, and I think most coaches want this, but you know, a team that could build each other up. And it was just really nice talking with him. Um, he seemed pretty shy. Um, but was it? Was it? But he also seems pretty calm and not in like a big of a rush. I like talking with him. And he talked about visiting, and I think me and Jay and my mom are gonna do like an unofficial, because I only have 2 officials left, and I want to save those for colleges that are probably like far away or until more into the season. because you know, it's only October. The season hasn't even started yet. So I'm definitely wanting to save these up. So we're gonna do, I believe we're gonna do an unofficial, and then he said we can choose the dates we want to be there, and he'll work around us, which is really nice. But man, that official was so tempting because I want to use the official and go there because he told me that I could also, and I've never any coach say this, but that I could be in the dorms and spend the night in the dorms with Kaylee. And that, you know, that would have been like great, man. That would have been like a good experience to have. But they're only 2 hours away, and since the season still hasn't even started yet, I really want to save these last two. Um, so, you know, but man, that was tempting. But yeah, he was really nice talking to, and I definitely am gonna ask him the questions that you sent me. I really like those questions, by the way. Um, but yeah, anyways, that was my practice. This video is crazy long. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you Friday. Bye bye.